Hey there, X.com and Facebook, Jonathan here. I know that I've been pretty much absent from posting online yesterday or earlier this morning, video updates and all. I'm quite preoccupied with filing online applications for grad school, one of which was, a very good school here in the Palo Alto area. I would like to be accepted to that school and enter that program. However, if not, then another school would be uh, the one that I'm applying to right now, which is University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. I was invited to apply to their graduate business program, as well as a few other schools, University of Tokyo, all of that. So this was a surprise to me. This came as a surprise to me because when I was in high school, I didn't think that I was really prepared for going to college or graduate school or any of that. I was somewhat of a lazy student. I had decent grades. I was a bit of a lazy student. Um, I also spent more time on extracurricular activities than and hobbies rather than taking stacks and stacks of AP courses and honors courses and all that, which you know people would generally say is a good idea if you want to enter a what is a good school, decent school, perhaps an Ivy League school. The only, I suppose, Ivy League that reached out to me was either Stanford or Cornell. Uh, that means, I mean, just as an invitation, I wasn't actually accepted by either school yet. Um, However, I see there's quite a bit of content online about how do how do students, K through 12 students, how do potential college applicants, which by the way, college isn't the only way to succeed in modern life. I like to follow the wise words of business leaders like Mark Zuckerberg and Tim Cook and Elon Musk, and they all say the same thing. It's a good school. I mean, it's a good place to train your mind and develop certain skill sets. It isn't the only place to really prepare yourself for the workforce. There's a variety of different avenues of preparing yourself for the real world and the workforce, whether it's internships and apprenticeships, um, whether it's going to um, specifically trained schools and trade schools and all that. Uh, I would say if you are more of an academic type and you want to earn a bachelor's degree, master's degree, especially if you want to be a teacher or a professor and you are uh, up in here this area, the knowledge type of uh, you know uh, human capital that is teaching and um, researching and writing uh, 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 books and books and all that, then university, college, that's perhaps where that is where you might want to be. If you prefer to work like a 9 to 5, work with your hands and your mind, of course, trained with specific skills that can because much of these you know places, like, you'd have to take out loads and loads of student loans. If you want to be able to pay them back right away with a stable job, that the rest of the the rest of the um, what moves the economy and the rest of the cogs in the wheel of the economy, then of course the trade school and obtaining a job as as an electrician, HVAC, paralegal, uh, construction. That's all fine and dandy too. But these are different fields for different types of people. That different people learn in different ways. And I learned that as much as I am willing to volunteer to learn about electrician type work, I've never actually worked with that type of setting before. I work more with you know I guess social media, um, and music, songwriting on the side, and then as much as I can on like microelectronics and semiconductors. Um, but yeah, my advice for anyone that would like to have their go at an Ivy League university, I would say an Ivy League university does not always have to be your first attempt. It doesn't always have to be your reach school. Um, because I went to a state school first. I went to San Jose State University. I went to several community colleges before that, including Mission College. I went to De Anza College, West Valley College here in Saratoga, and the rest of the Bay Area. And those are junior colleges. Those are community colleges where you can save. You can work your way through school, pay for modestly priced courses. You can also go to a state school for undergrad where it's a little bit more cost effective. It's a little bit cheaper to go to a local state school or university, at least in my opinion. And then if you really want to obtain a PhD or master's degree or go to grad school, then when when you've earned the study skills through going to an undergraduate program, through the bachelor's program, then perhaps that's when you're ready to apply to a University of California, excuse me, University of California, or a Ivy League university. Um, in fact, if you do so well in a bachelor's program and do good work for about 5 to 10 years after after undergraduate and your bachelor's degree, there are times when those schools will reach out to you and say, "Hey, we've seen that you've been not just resume building," and I want to differentiate between resume building versus actual career development and life, personal development. Um, resume building is something that you might want to do early on, when you're still gaining new abilities and talents, excuse me, and skills. Um, and then when you've reached a certain point where it isn't as much about the resume building anymore, it really is about you change your mindset from wanting to survive in school to actually wanting to make an impact and giving back to either the workforce or the community, your local community, or just the nation and the entire world at large. Uh, I mean, just in the sense that you want to give back to either the workforce, other people, the rest of humanity. It really depends on what your mission statement is and what your goal is in what you want to achieve in perhaps less than 100 years of being alive here on Earth. Um, and yeah, I realized that like I after I went after I graduated from San Jose State University in a pretty modestly priced, not priced but modestly um, more of a modest tier state university. I realized that I started doing things for the sake of doing them rather than wanting to enter or to be accepted into an Ivy League university or a University of California. I started to volunteer at the local co-working space to teach computer programming to my contemporaries, my peers, and potential colleagues. I volunteered at the local library to mm, to to give back to the community. Uh, you know, Considering how much that the university system has has given to me, I found various ways of just you know working for not working for free, but allocating my own resources, the knowledge that I've been able to accumulate from working, and uh, spending time on helping other people succeed as well. Um, as much as you hear um, from others that the higher you climb in the corporate ladder or in the workforce, that it becomes more uh, it becomes more either cutthroat or more challenging. Um, I think there's ways in which you can help others achieve what they want to achieve. You can help others achieve their goals, and it doesn't have to be such a dog eat dog world. That being said, um, yeah, for the K through 12, perhaps they're sophomores or juniors in high school right now, or they have graduated from undergrad and looking to apply to grad school, and you want to hear from uh, the schools that you want to be accepted to. Yes, the grades matter. Out of a 4.0 grade point average, and take the AP courses that are relevant to what your focus is. And I don't think you don't have to take like all AP courses and overload yourself and and really you know overload yourself and take yourselves to the limit and lose precious time resting and sleeping to even um, remember the things that you've learned in class. I would also say, yeah, spend some time volunteering, whether at the hospital, at the library, at the local business, shadowing people, asking to be an unpaid intern or a I don't know what the word is, just like a shadow to shadow people, professionals, excuse me, and yeah. I think the moment that I stopped caring about what school that I was going to be accepted to, and the moment that I really started to care about certain causes like breast cancer awareness and ending poverty and education for adult learners and and just tech, bringing technology savviness to older adults. Yeah, you can get behind causes, and if you feel as if they resonate with you as an individual, it has to be, I think it has to be an authentic um, way that the cause resonates with you. And then I think that's when, you know um, when your work starts to shine through, when your studies really start to matter to you. And then I think that's when the university of your choice will start to see start to see you um, for the wonderful candidate that you would be for that school. And that's what I have to say about that.